Hello everyone, this is Monstertaming coming at you with the Community Newsletter, March 24th, 2023. So let's dive right into it. We made progress on the VFX for multiple different abilities. Here's an example of a new projectile called Aqua Launcher. It's on Salamander. Seems like it has a pretty decent range. I wish I could see the Ember's health bar because it's doing like 8 damage, which is nothing in the alpha. But obviously Salamander's like level 15 here, and I'm pretty sure the alpha can like level 50, if I remember correctly, so it's a little bit hard to say, but Salamander having literally any form of range at all is pretty great. It looks like a cool ability. I like the effects of it, and it looks like it's kind of similar to Fireball from Ember, which means it'll probably be relatively easy to hit, especially if it has splash damage, which it kind of looks like it might, basically all the way it literally splashes when it connects, but we'll have to wait and find out, I suppose, unless they tell me in like 2 seconds down here. Nope. Alright, been working on descriptions for each kinfolk's compendium entry. They're generally similar to the ones we showed in the previous example with Shovelet, and they're a good opportunity to convey aspects of the kinfolk that might be less apparent you first encounter them in game. As part of this, we've also been determining the average heights for all kinfolk, and we're pretty happy with the overall range we have. Now there's an easier way to create story mission dialogue for kinfolk in your team. Essentially, we're able to write lines for all the pickable personalities in a single node, which conserves a vast amount of space in the X node graph. We've created some new shouts for kinfolk on your team to use when you cook for them. It'll be based on things like personality and whether or not you fed them their favorite flavor. I love all these different personality lines because, like, this is what's really going to drive Kindred Fates. Especially with the casual audience, because I know there's probably going to be a lot of hardcore players who really love the action, like the real-time combat and stuff, but there's going to be a turn-based mode, and I'm sure that more people who are kind of dipping their toes into it, like coming for Pokemon, are probably going to stick with the turn-based, or maybe they'll try the live action combat. I'm not sure, but I think that this is what's going to draw most people in. It's such you can have these personalities, and I think these dialogues are like 10 out of 10 importance. Like, obviously I'm not a literal game designer, but I think it doesn't take an expert to look at Kindred Fates and say, yes, these dialogues are extremely important and should be an extremely high priority, and I'm glad they're giving them so much care and attention. That makes me very excited for what we're going to see from them. Alright, moving on. The colors for our character creation models have been corrected to use Nintendo Color Scheme. Previously, everything was too light and desaturated due to issue importing them into Unity. There's still some slight fine-tuning to be done, but all in all, it's a massive improvement. And there are 2 new outfits in the works for the child human models. After finalizing the shape of the clothing, our next step here will be making textures for them. Materials for houses in the town are coming along nicely at the moment, and we're focused on creating materials for the climbing ivy plants that will cover many houses in town. The storyboard cutscenes are in great progress. After years of only having mental images for these scenes, it's both thrilling and eerie to see them for our eyes. It's also interesting to discover the variations and how different people have envisioned the same moments. We currently have a handful of null-type kinfolk: Big Bandit, Short Sword, and Tenderfoot. Concept art phase, as well as 1 guy type, Briar Stomper. And we're finishing up the model for Little Bandit and Big Bandit, huh? Wonder if they're going to be connected. And the model for Briarheart is coming along well. The unnamed guy type that was in a modeling phase last time is now in the rigging phase. Puddle Hopper's attack animations are in progress as well. Tidewalker, as well as Tidewalker's standard animations. Out of all these, I'm interested in Short Sword because I like just the name makes it imply it's going to have something medieval going on with it potentially, and that's interesting to me. The concept art for the dungeon's interior overview has been completed, so we've moved on to creating more detailed concept sheets for the set pieces that will be in the dungeon. It's important that we get to fill these smaller details right to achieve the desired atmosphere. While working on the artistic side of the dungeon, we're also fleshing out the design aspects. Now that we have an interior overview, we can start planning the layout for the path through the dungeon. The 2D design plans are finished, and we're starting work on grade boxing. We began working on something called pooling for our abilities. Essentially, instead of creating a brand new instance, one ability every time you use it and then disposing of it after, we save it and hide it for after use. Then, when the next ability is used, we just dust off from the old one and repurpose it. This is a huge performance saver and should reduce stuttering and lag in instances with a lot of abilities firing. I don't understand the technical side of that, but it sounds like a really good change nonetheless. Added support for the assigning distinct locations and regions within the overworld. Essentially, we can draw a polygon around an area and give it a name that's useful for things like showing where you meet your kinfolk or their final resting place. We also implemented the logic that causes an area's name to show on the screen when you enter its boundaries. It's a small detail, but exciting to see in addition to the UI that builds out the exploration side of the game. Yep, that is nice. I like it when you get to see like the names of areas when you walk in. And their final resting place, that implies that you're going to be able to, yeah, like see somewhere like where they finally died at or something like that, which is going to be sad to see. We started early implementation of characters orienting themselves correctly on slope terrain. Now both human player and kinfolk should tilt to fit the terrain's natural curvature much more believably. Our process for updating low poly terrain tiles have been streamlined to take much less time. It used to be that once we finished sculpting an area, we had to go through a somewhat long, complicated process to make low poly versions of the tile match the high quality versions. That way we can load in less detailed terrain tile when you're far away and save on performance. Now I choose the same result by clicking one button, so much better. And we continue to work on our mission code for one of the single player story missions. Part of that during the sprint has been making an NPC with unique behaviors and logic. Earlier this week, we sent out information for our Taylor/Crypto Journal backers. If you haven't yet, be sure to check your email for this message. You can also find information in this post. One small addition to the information we already gave: if you're working on entries for your Crypto Journal, images without backgrounds preferred but not required. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. We'll see you next time on April 7th. Yeah, and I made a video talking a little bit about this. If you prefer to watch the video over reading it for yourself. But yeah, so this is Monstertaming signing off. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Goodbye, God bless, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.